All right, everyone, welcome to the show. This is GolfPlexity with Bill and Jim. We've been trying to think of, a podcast that we could do, and I don't know, what's it been? A year?
Who knew that the creative process took so long? Uh, yeah, we talked about this maybe over a year ago, and just getting the name has just been arduous. Things have delayed us, and uh, I used to think that I had a creative gene, and now I'm starting to question that because of how long it took just to come up with a simple name for a simple podcast just to talk about golf. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey just coming up with the name, and it's a little daunting if you think we spent that much time coming up with the name. How much time is it going to take for us to come up with something else?
Hey, if you think golf is hard, try coming up with a golf podcast name. We'll get into that a little bit just because I think it's funny just to kind of review some of the dumb names that we came up with. And we're like you'd like it, I'd hate it. Then I'd come back and I'd like it, you'd hate it. And then we both hate it. And I'm just like, which, which one are we going to get sued on first? That kind of thing.
We worried about more stuff probably than what we needed to worry about. But
Yeah.
and some people may be sitting here now going, and you guys came up with GolfPlexity.
GolfPlexity. That wouldn't have been my 59th thousandth choice, but hey, it works for you guys. And you're right, it does work for us. So,
Well, yeah, I'm sure somewhere in the comments we'll hear about it. But feel free to make any comments that you want.
but what is GolfPlexity? What are we going to be doing? What's this about? Why are we even here?
Well, we're definitely not here to help people come up with podcast names. Although some of our offcasts, maybe people may think it's gold. It's pure. It's
For a
pure
small
gold.
licensing fee, I mean, I'm willing to work with people.
But so some of the things we'll be doing here are we're going to be reviewing courses. We take quite a few trips around the country to some of them are bucket list courses. Some of them are just, they could be our bucket list courses, but, we like to go and play nice courses in general and review the course and the area and any of the amenities that that the course may have or the lodge there may
Yep.
have as well. So.
And kind of really where this started was you and I both like to practice. Like when we tell people, yeah, I was just at Sawgrass this weekend. Oh, did you play Sawgrass? No, we just went there to practice. It's got a sweet range. Short game area is money. Well, you guys just went to practice. You didn't play. No, we just went to practice. Got to work on the money 50-yard approach. And we like doing that. So, like a big component of this is going to be, we're constantly searching for really nice practice facilities. So that's number one. That's kind of like going to be one of the core components of this.
Yeah, if the practice facilities are poopy, it kind of sets the tone.
Yeah, it was nice. You just dropped 150 bucks, 200 bucks for a round, and you get there and, hey guys, today we're off the mats, and all of these balls are they're left over from 5 years ago, and yeah, some of the mats we need to replace those. Been talking to management for years. They're really thin in spots. There's nothing worse than that.
what comes to mind is Dub's Dread in Chicago. I was looking as soon as we roll in there, and I was excited to play it. Although they did have a boatload of rain, the day or two before.
Yep.
But then we roll in there, and it was all mats. It was they had that like Catholic school tournament or something that was going on. So it was all those kids, and it was all the loud music and everything, and then we got to hit off with those poopy mats. So that kind of
Yeah.
set the tone for a little bit for me right there. I mean, it was actually like, yeah, I think I hit 15 balls, and then I was like, okay, all right, whatever. Let's get to the tee. And
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And rolling in and you see all the school buses there, and you're like, "What's going on? What's going on? What's happening?" And we just happen to get there like 20 minutes after all the buses had got there. So of course, even finding a bay in as bad as the practice areas were, I wouldn't say they were bad because they did. I think all those bays had like the shot lengths where you could trace your ball and everything, but just we had to go all the way to the end. There's like 100 kids that had taken up all the primo bays, and so if you can use the word primo, but they were paying as much as we did for that, which again we don't mind because that's kind of what we're used to here on the East Coast. But for that price, you would hope that you would get some good warm up on some nice facilities. So one of my lifelong complaints whenever I read like Golf Digest or Golf Week or whatever, they're like, somebody inevitably writes in like, how can I fix my putting? What do I need to do to fix my putting? And they're always like, go out on your next round, find a flat spot, and work on your 20-yard lags. Okay, well, good luck finding flat first of all, and then all the putting area was so crowded. Good luck working on lags because you just got it's like balls just look like a game of asteroids going on the putting green. So slight annoyances, but the crux topics of this channel is going to be just talking about practice. What we're doing for practice, what others are doing for practice. Probably can't see behind me, but I've got a lot of practice aids. We'll probably talk about that at some point. We've both gotten lessons. I'm actually going to Sawgrass.
Yeah, it
And
have to be a
there's a
secret.
really, really awesome putting guru down there, Mike Shannon. Shout out, TPC Performance Center. And the lesson I got from him 2 years ago basically changed my life. So I'm just kind of going back for a tune-up. But anyway, the point is, we're into that. We're into the practice part of it. We're into the nice facilities part of it. And even when you go to places like Sawgrass just for the weekend, just kind of soaking in the vibe, even if you don't want to spend, $800 to go play TPC or TPC Die, just the vibe of areas like that, and just taking advantage of the facilities, it's fun, at least for us. We're weird, I guess.
Well, as soon as you drive onto that property, it's
I know.
just well man. I mean, from the instant you turn on that road, I don't know what the actual road is called, TPC Drive or something, but everything is just I always said, even the first time, I was like, it looks like I could just drop balls out here and just start practicing anywhere.
Yeah.
And we just made the first turn onto the road, to the clubhouse, and so that place is nice. And so we'll talk about a lot of the areas that we like to go and practice, and it means a lot to us to have a facility that you can practice your whole game. Not just pound some balls. I mean, or do some putting, but it means a lot for us to have a good short game area where we can work on that 40, 50, 60, even 70 yards, 70 yards and in, because
Yep.
a lot of places you don't have that.
And the other thing we should point out is, we're interested in going to things that are accessible to the average golfer. And I think of myself as the average golfer. I think we can both agree that we are distinctly average. We'll get into our handicaps here shortly, but you're not as average as most. You're way less average than me. But the point of this is because people are probably out there like, well, my private club has got a fantastic facility, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's fantastic. But the word private kind of like, ensures that it probably stays that way because it's not getting all the traffic that a lot of these other places are getting. And that's kind of the point, is that we want things that are, it's on our bucket list. We've been to some nice places, Whistling Straits, Sawgrass, Stream Song, places like that. And sometimes we're like really enthused about the facilities and the amenities, and other times we're kind of like disappointed. Bay Hill Spa. But there's that's when you go on a trip and you're kind of trying to relax and you're spending a lot of money on this stuff, you want the amenities to kind of like be top shelf, and practice facilities no exception to that. So not that we're not overly critical, we're not prima donnas, I don't think, but one of the things that we again do like to do is practice, and so that's what we're going to talk about a lot of. In addition to other things like what's happening with the PGA Tour, and then our favorite seems to be kind of like the golf drip, or as we like to call it, cake, the golf cake.
Get your slice.
Get your slice of cake.
We'll give slices out.
So we're constantly looking for new shirts, new hoodies, things like that. And again, it's what what's the average guy.
I see you're sporting the Rowback
Rocking
a hoodie shirt there.
Rocking the new Rowback camos. So we'll talk about some of our favorite lines, and I buy a lot of stuff, so hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and kind of like my critiques about stuff, that there's nothing worse than going and buying a pant that you think this is Puma, that you think is going to be sky blue or baby blue, and getting it, and it's kind of like Battleship Gray. So anybody out there interested in the new Puma 101 pants and thinking that the blue is really sky blue? Because I can show you what's out on freaking Golf Galaxy and Amazon right now, but that's not what you're going to get. You are going to get mauve, or whatever this disgusting color that's going back is. So those are some of the tips that you'll get on this channel alone.
And it's not to be discounted either. These are going to be some money tips for everyone, and probably not so much myself, but he's definitely going to have lots of tips and tricks for you on suggestions for apparel. But I'm more from the camp. I've got there's 7 days in the week. I need 7 shirts. I need 7 pants, and one jacket, and I'm pretty much good to go. But
yeah, I think my purchases tend to lean more towards the quarterly. I need to have enough shirts for the entire quarter. So and then I just kind of rotate things in and out from there. But there's nothing worse than buying something and finding out that everything in Ralph Lauren Golf runs small. So the XL that I normally buy, I need to buy a double X or perhaps a triple X, because they make them for small people. And when I say small, I mean shorter, not wider.
Yes, yeah.
We'll get into our stats too. I'm a little taller.
and I'm average. So, as James alluded to earlier, I'll give you some of my golf background anyways. I'm going on about, I don't know, at least probably 30 years of playing now. It's been on and off. I've had my handicap down as low as right around scratch to where it is now, which is probably a 10 or a 12. It all depends. Last year I got down to like a 4, and then I promptly went up to about a 20, and it kind of settled down a little bit. But consistency is not one of my strong points, anyways. But constantly, I took probably about 10 years off from playing. My wife kept getting pregnant for some reason, and I just didn't have the time, and nor the permission, I guess. And so just started getting back into it over the last 3 years, and the struggle is real. We go to get I go and get some lessons from some well-known instructors, and I'm sure after my lesson they are left scratching their head and looking for something to drink, and try to figure out what just happened there. But it's a constant struggle that we're always working on, and every year I come out and I'm like a different golfer. It could be for better or for worse. It's I can't wait to get out there, and then wait and see how many weeks it takes me to say, F this game. I'm done with it.
Everybody's a contender in February. It's just like spring training, right? Everybody's hopeful, light. The golf game springs anew, and then right around April, you're like, I got the same crappy flaws that I had last year. All the time I spent on simulators, December, January, February, none of it means anything. What the F am I doing? Yeah.
I thought for certain me sitting around on the couch all winter would take care of my that slight over the top
Dude,
or across the line.
I get reps every day mentally, And no, it's funny because whenever I'm in the, I've noticed this over the last 3 months. When I go to the restroom and I'm standing in front of the stall, I notice that my weight is right where I want it to be on the inside, the insteps. And I'm like, if I can do it peeing, why can't I do it addressing a ball? And so, I finish my business and right in front and where I work, they have, full length mirrors in there. And I just, you got to get a quick rep in and you're just like, okay, yeah, exactly. This is where I want to be. And then you take it to the range and you're just like, wow, I just did this in the men's head. Why can't I do it here?
Well, that'll be on the tee now. Now you just let me in on something because now I'm going to go, dude, it's just like you're at the urinal.
Picture urinating.
Yeah.
Picture urinating.
The balls are, weights on the inside of your feet,
Yeah.
and you're relieving yourself, and just let the swing happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you used to actually be in the game, right? You were a pro at a club, were you not?
I taught for a while. Yeah, I was assistant pro at a club, and did some teaching. That was, I think everyone who gets into the business, we all want to get in as players, or we all get in as players, and just because we love the game and want to be around it more. I want to be able to have more access to the facilities, to play and to practice, and then there comes a point, I guess, where if you stay in the game, you pretty much hang up any of aspirations that you have if you stay in that side of the business, and you go, okay, well, I'm never really going to be a player, so then you just start focusing on the coaching or
the retail side,
instruction side, and the retail side.
Hey, we just got a shipment of hats. Bill, can you go in the back? You start tagging those and sort them out by size, and then just put them out in the front. And you're like, this is not why I got into this, but yeah, got it, Dave. Thanks.
I really want to work on my my 8-yard cut shot right now, but okay, yeah, we'll go and I'll hang up some merch, but so anyways, I just did that for a couple of years, and actually that was how that got me a lot of reps. I got a lot of golf in, and I mean at one point I was playing 250 plus rounds a year. And that's my golf game went up, and I was able to feel more confident about it. I went to my claim to fame, so far is that I missed the what the heck was the name of that tournament in DC at Avenel, the PGA tournament. It used to be there every year at Avenel.
The Rock. I wanted to say Rocket Mortgage.
No,
but I don't think that was it.
Oh, it's totally escaped me right now. But so I just out on a whim went to a Monday qualifier.
The Quicken?
No,
was it the Quicken? All right.
Nope, I can't. Man, it was there for years. But anyways,
this is your claim to fame, and you can't remember it.
And I can't remember. I can't remember what it was called. But so I missed getting into a playoff by 2 shots. So I mean that's.
So you missed. You missed getting into the tournament in a playoff by 2 shots, the tournament that you can't recall.
The tournament I can't. The Kemper Open.
Oh, there
we go.
Called. There you go. Nice.
And I started off like par, double bogey, and I parred like the next, I don't know, 13 holes, and then I finally got a birdie and got one back. So it was 3 over. I think it's a par 72 course, and the playoff was at 1 over for one of the spots. I think there was 3 spots available, and someone, I think it was Scott Verplank, shot he shot like a 65 or something, so he was automatically in. And then there was, I don't know who the next person was. I think John Rollins might have been at this one, and then there was there was two guys in a playoff for the last spot, and they were at 1 over. So,
Man, imagine
anyways,
Verplank just kind of like, I'm sure somebody was telling him like, dude, you got like a 7-shot lead with like, you know, 6 holes to go. Now it's 3 holes to go, and just cruising in. That's got to be a good feeling. And then you're out there just grinding, trying to get into the last.
I don't have a freaking clue of what I'm doing. I mean,
Right.
the first hole, it was that Shenandoah Greens course that we played at, and it was the first hole. It was a par 4, and I was just young and dumb. I was like, well, I'm gonna drive this sucker, and it was narrow as hell, and I just hit a sweet drive. Ended up like 2 feet short of the green, and it's like, all right, this is just another day. Let's do it. And then, of course, it gets to my head a little bit, and on the second hole thing, reality comes back, and so it took a little while, but I righted the train and gutted out a lot of pars. But anyway, so that's my only real golf claim to fame so far, and it's not much fame there, but anyways. That set the bar so high that I was destined to fail ever since then. So,
Yeah, well, my background is not as auspicious. I'm just an average guy, and picked up golf after softball. I played with my dad, way back when I was young, and those are some of the best memories that I have with my dad. Coming off the golf course really late at night, being the last ones to leave. That was really nice. But played really competitive softball for a long time, and then finally gave that up. And then I brought the softball swing over to the golf game. That took a couple years to work its way out. And now I would say, the lowest I've gotten it, this was pre-pregnancy, was about an 8.8. And then post kid ballooned right up to a 12. Now I think I'm probably, I didn't have an official score last year, so I'd probably say it was probably in the 10 range. And the goal this year is to get it back down to an 8. So 8 or less. So getting it into single digits, they'll tell you is one of the easier things to do in golf. Getting it down to scratch, one of the harder things to do in golf. So I'll be fine with, shooting sub 80 rounds, an occasional blow up of like an 85 or an 86 won't bother me. But if I can get it down to consistency,
it'll bother you.
Well, of course it'll bother me.
People will find out. They'll find out along the way.
Yeah, the phrase that bothers me the most is when people say, you're in the middle of shooting like an 89 or something, and they'll be, well, it's better than a day at the office. No, it's not. I would rather close $1 million deal than continue to freaking chunk my chips and 3-putt.
It doesn't even have to be a big deal.
I'd rather just close a deal than freaking shoot a 92, unless we're on a hard course. But now my average round is probably right in the low 80s, high 70s, and I want to get it consistently in the 70s. So that's what we're working on, and that's why we're going to Sawgrass next week, baby. We're gonna get some instruction from the man that changed my life anyway 2 years ago. Because I don't know if you remember, right after I went there the first time, we did our trip to Pinehurst. And man, I was making everything I looked at.
You were a putting machine.
10 feet out, 15 feet out. I'm like, okay, I got the brake on this. This thing's going down. I remember George, like I called one of them. I'm like, I got it. Clunk right in. And I was just like, that was the best money I've ever spent. And then you kind of drift away from that. And, I think I need a little bit more correction. So we'll see. My bedroom carpet's been stimping at about a 12, maybe a 13. So
Gonna have to change that out for some tighter Berber.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to going back and just hearing what he has to say. And he obviously won't remember me, but I remember him and the things that he said so. Hopefully, we can just kind of like tweak it, and we'll be on our way to getting down to the singles
Well,
solidly this year.
I think both of our goals are pretty much the same as my goal anyways is to get down to around scratch. So I'd like to be somewhere. We don't necessarily need to be playing the tips anymore, and
No,
but I don't care where we play from. I mean, I could probably play from the red tees and still not shoot to, even par right now. But I think that's still our goal, no matter where we play from, is just to be able to be somewhere around the even par number, and I think we'd be pretty happy with it.
yeah, I mean, both of us play from the men's back, which is typically like a blue tee, something like that. Um, when we go to the harder courses that we've never seen before, like at Kiowa or Whistling Straits or Harbour Town, something like that, I will, just because I don't want to like have a bad day, and it depends basically how I'm driving the ball too. I'll move up a tee. I'll move up to the whites, and it doesn't for me it doesn't put as much pressure on the tee game. I can still, my irons and my short game and putting is still pretty decent, but like my worst club is my driver, so I got to get that fixed. Hopefully there's a fitting in my future here in the next couple months where um, that can help. But like what's your right now? What would you say is your worst club?
Well, you were kind of alluding to some things there, so that's we're gonna take viewers along with us on on some of our fittings, some of our lessons, or probably all of our fittings and all of our lessons. I mean,
Yep.
we won't have too many fittings, I don't think, but I think we're both due for them. I am currently going to revamp. I think I may retire my 3 iron, and I may go with like a 4 hybrid or something like that.
Just the three?
Just a 3. Yep. I think I still keep the 4. I don't have a problem getting the 3 up in the air or anything. I just want it even higher, and I just wanted a little more forgiveness with it. So this off season, I think one of my fittings anyway is going to be, I'm due for a new driver. I get a new driver like once every 10 years. So I'm still swinging my FTX3.
Yeah. I think
From
every year we have this discussion. It's like, dude, why are you still swinging that thing? Why? At
got my
least get a new shaft.
I got my Speeder 757 shaft in there, and and I just liked it. But yes, I'm due, and my 3 wood's due, and I'll be looking at like that 4 hybrid or something like that to take the place of the 3. So that's what I'll be looking to work on with my fittings. And you had just mentioned your driver, right?
Yeah. The driver that I'm swinging right now, it's one of the TaylorMades. And I think I may be, I've been a TaylorMade guy for the last, well, basically since I was going to say I had Cleveland's when I very first started. Those were a hand-me-down from our boy Sal. Shout out Sal. But right after that, I went and got fitted. And this is my third set of TaylorMades. I'm probably going to try the Callaway drivers. I don't think I'm a fan of the Stealth. I've hit the Stealth before, and I didn't really like the muted sound or the feel to it. But which is why I've stuck with my old TaylorMade. But I think I'm going to try the Callaways. I'm kind of interested in the new smoke and the Paradigm from the previous year. So we'll see.
Is it called like the smoke paradigm or something?
I don't know. We're gonna have to get better about this as we begin our equipment reviews. But the other thing I would say
I
that
can look it up here.
you're probably not going to see on our channel is challenges. We're not going to be the guys that are going to be doing knockout challenges where we have to like down, fireball. I'm a big fan of a lot of the channels out there. I'm way more in tune with those offerings than you are, because that's kind of what I watch instead of TV now. But I love those. It's already covered. They do it well. we're probably not going to be into that. Ours again is going to be a little bit more about kind of our pursuit of getting better, taking you with us on some of the bucket list trips. We're going to talk about some of the latest cake offerings, the drip, and we're just going to have fun with it and kind of see where this goes.
And literally, when he said that we're going to take you guys along some of these trips with us, as our viewership grows and our subscribers grow, there's going to be some pretty good rewards out there in contests or whatever, and drawings, which I'm excited about, and I know everyone else should be excited about it as well. So we won't spill the beans now. We're just getting started. This is our first deal, so we'll get smoother with this, and as time goes. But yeah, our things to just take people along on some of these trips. I mean, if you can glean something from it, like, hey, if you're coming down somewhere to practice, this is or is not the place to go. If you're going somewhere to practice, this place has the best margaritas or the best fish tacos.
Post-round food, man. People sleep on post-round food, and it's essential. It was that little divey bar that we found right outside. I guess it was recommended. It's where all the caddies go after a round.
At Whistling?
At Whistling, yeah. And it's literally a quarter mile away from the front entrance. That was a great find. I enjoyed that. So we'll talk about that for sure.
Those little hidden gems that we find along the way. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here, and we should have a good amount of content coming down the pipe, as we're always we're either out playing, practicing, getting a lesson. And it doesn't have to always be golf. We'll have some other topics that may come up from time to time that that we have to chime in on, whether it's other sports or maybe some world news. We don't want to get too into the news thing here.
We're not going to get political. But we may offer some suggestions about what type of ammo to get.
Well, that's another one of our hobbies. So, we have to specify when we say a range day, because we could either be on the golf range or we might be at the gun range or something. So, but we welcome everyone into our journey here, and we're excited for those that have clicked on this and have found us already. Stay tuned. There'll be much more to come. So
definitely, and it's not going to be as serious. This is the foundation from which we're building on. I guarantee you will see that we are two idiots, and we should probably give you
that could have been the name. Why didn't we call it like
two idiots? I think we did.
Two Golfing Idiots podcast.
Yeah, you'd be surprised about how many things that you think are like really unique have been taken. Like your favorite, which I predicted we would be sued within 2 days after doing this, which was...
What was it? Was it Par Wars?
Par Wars, yes. Nothing but Par
dun, 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 dun,
dun. Yeah, that would have got us sued in a heartbeat. Carpath Boys, Bill and Jim's Excellent Golf Adventure. There's another suit. Just some really dumb names. And then we finally, we were even using OpenAI to come up with suggested names. I was like, hey, list 30 unique names for a golf podcast containing the word blank. And it spit it out. And you and I would be just like, I take a picture, send it to you. No, yeah, maybe. What if we did it with this one? And then we would just go down another rat hole. And this was taking days turned into weeks turned into months. And finally, we said, all right, let's just do the freaking podcast. We'll come up with a name later. And then I think it was 3 days ago, I just like pushed two names together to come up with GolfPlexity. And, you have to go look on YouTube, see if it's taken. Then you got to look on Twitter, see if it's taken. And you have to look on the main domain. Is there a name server out there that's got it? And no. And so we're like, that night, you and I were furiously like trying to like register everything. We're like, okay, we got a name. It may not be the greatest, but this is what we're rolling with right now. We're going to get this out here. Let's go.
So GolfPlexity is our parent, the parent name. We've
like
got
that.
we've got
parent branding.
We've got a bunch of sub channels that we can't wait to to get out and utilize. So whatever we're going to be focusing on, some episodes it may be focusing on training, or it may be focusing on bringing another golfer with us or anything along that. So we've got different sub channels that we'll use for some of the different content. So there'll be the names that we kind of liked, but we didn't.
There's a couple of names that we like that we thought would be good for a sub channel name. We'll kind of keep with those themes. So I'm looking forward to one of them for sure, and then we'll just see where it goes. So, and before we get too far, I'm just going to dispel the myth right now. No, I'm not a day drinker. Okay, this is an energy drink. So I'm sure we're going to get the comments. What's up with a dude taking a hit like every 30 seconds on that? I'm kind of addicted to these. I try to get through one a day, and I highly recommend the Hawaiian Breeze. I'm not going to tell you which brand this is.
So we're gonna pause for our sponsorship for a moment.
We're open to sponsorship. I'm a huge fan of this, but Hawaiian Breeze, kind of money. And then they've got a limited edition one out now called Tidal Twist, also awesome. Grape and sour apple, can never go wrong with those. But it's not vodka, it's caffeine straight up, because I can't stand drinking coffee. So I'll just dispel that myth. Okay. So.
I don't think anyone would look at it and go, man, what is he hitting there? Is that like some kind of little?
I'm sure it's going to be
plastic
annoying.
Flask bottle or something.
I'm sure it's going to be annoying. It's going to probably come across like I'm somebody taking a hit off of a Juul every 5 minutes. But I'll try to curtail this, get my fix prior to the next time we do this. Let's take a look and see what's going on over.
Yeah,
on the tour.
I think before we go out, let's just see what's happening. What is it? This week is the Genesis.
Yep. And
anyway, so for the Callaway, they're called the Paradigm AI Smoke.
AI Smoke. Yeah.
And then you get like you get the Triple Diamond and the Smoke Max D and the Smoke Max, and it's just freaking crazy. And now there's a Max Fast, and I know.
Man, so your boy Cantlay has now been overtaken by Luke List.
Luke List, yeah, I want to say we ran into him one time at Sawgrass there when we were practicing.
He is on fire. He's through 5 holes. He's 4 under, and Cantlay hasn't really done anything. He's even. So.
Oh, now there was just a little update. Hadwin's in. He's moved into. That's technically 3rd. Harris English. Now I don't know. Is it just me, or how I see things differently? But does he look like he should be in Shawshank Redemption? Have you ever noticed how much he looks like Tim Robbins?
A little bit.
I mean, you see him.
That's a doppelganger situation, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You put put him in that same situation, or take Tim Robbins and put on a Titleist hat or whatever Harris English is wearing. And
we should also mention, as part of the Genesis, I got a buddy out there right now. He
our boots on the ground.
Yeah, we got boots on the ground. He was telling me that. So I won't give away what he's doing as a volunteer out there, but he was invited to come out and volunteer. I think this is his 2nd year doing it, because he happens to know somebody high up in the tournament sphere there, and was telling me that he overheard a couple of I'll say Irish coaches talking about a very
prominent Irish player.
A very famous player, and they were kind of making fun of the famous player. But he was saying that besides the thing that was funny to me was, he goes, really thick accents, really hard to understand, but every other word was the F-bomb. So
was the F-bomb in Irish?
Yes. And then he did get me. He sent me just to prove that he was out there. While Tiger is debuting his new line, he was able to send me that photo there. So
his Sunday red line, which
yeah,
we'll get into at some point, but we'll save that for another episode.
yeah, we'll get the report of things. He said the food out there for the volunteers was actually pretty good. So I'm curious to hear about that. And one player was upset because there was not what's out there, a Whataburger?
In and Out.
In and Out. Okay. In and Out was not waiting for him at the end of the round, and I was just like, wow.
Now, do you know who that player was?
I do, but I can't. I don't want to say.
I think I do too, because I was talking to someone else about it, and he sent me a photo, and there was an In-N-Out burger guy standing right next to this one famous golfer, and he was like, "Hey, I think your story might have some legs. I think it might be real, because the In-N-Out guy is looking he was looking a little flustered or a little nervous,
Real? I hadn't seen this, so we'll be interested
Yeah.
to see if we can mirror that up.
All right, and we'll discuss that offline. But anyways, well,
I think right now, more to report after we get back from Sawgrass next week. Got another trip scheduled after that, so we'll get into that perhaps on the next episode.
all right, well, that sounds great. Looking forward to it. We're not going to say this too often, but yeah, I know it's early. But if you want to hit that like button and subscribe, you can always help us get off to an awesome start, and we appreciate you. So for this episode, that does it. This is Bill and Jim with GolfPlexity. We'll see you guys next time.